Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Questbound Reader. Guys, welcome back to Manga Mondays. The Questbound Gang continues to fill up the good old bookshelf. We got 3 books coming in. Stay tuned later for those. But let's get into Manga Mondays, my favorite new addition to the channel. Guys, today we're going to be talking about a really great manga that I've been reading recently, and there's an anime adaptation out for it. I highly encourage you to read this. It's called A Jobless Reincarnation. The Japanese title is Mushoku Tensei. I'm going to post a picture of it soon, so just stay tuned and let's get right into the review. Okay, so what is this really about? It is a 34-year-old man in Japan that gets hit by a truck and dies. Dead. Episode 1. He then proceeds to get reincarnated into Rudius Grey Rat, and as a baby, right? He starts off his whole new life in this world where magic exists. Other animal creatures exist. There's like beast men and women, and it's great. He loves it because he hated his life on Earth. Now, on Earth, he was this uh, guy that would stay in his apartment. They're called neets, right? Neet. He would stay slummed in his apartment. He had grown very tired, overweight, had no aspiration for life, had nothing he wanted to do, and he would often get bullied because of that. Now, in parentheses, if you are an apartment stay-at-home in shut-in kind of person, there's nothing wrong with that. I do encourage you to go out, live a little, talk to people, but if not, you can always talk to me here at the Questbound Gang. Guys, this guy really hated his life on Earth. So he was very happy to have been born into this new world, getting a pretty much a brand new clean slate of life. He, as a baby, his dad was a very strong person. His dad's name was Paul, and his mother was a very kind and loving woman. This is this is a funny manga because this guy is kind of pervy, right? So I don't recommend this for a younger audience. But if you're, at least in your teenage years, and you've probably seen some of the stuff around that goes into the current mangas and animes and whatnot, so it wouldn't be a big deal. This is really fun to read. Like you have Rudy starts off, and he's blessed with magical powers beyond what anyone his age would have. So he's pretty strong. He's just inexperienced, and he starts growing under the tutelage of his father and mother. They eventually hire a mage to teach him, right? And this is all like the first episode, and a lot of this is under the plot. If you look up what the anime is about or the manga, so I'm not going into much spoilers. I'm probably going to spoil like 1 or 2 episodes for you. That's about it. So Rudius starts growing, and he quickly realizes that his dad is a pervert. His dad is a very strong guy, very very well known and respected as an adventurer. And his dad loves his mom, but his dad's also the biggest flirt that you could probably know. So then Rudius picks up on a lot of those things, and mind you, he keeps all his memories and his consciousness from his 34-year-old body and life now in the body of a brand new baby. So, he has his mom, and he's like, wow, my new mom is so hot. And like, she goes to like nurse him, and he's like, nice. Like, I get to see a brand new, fill in the gaps, right? And he uses being a baby to his advantage, right? He gropes a little here and there, not only to his mother, but to like strangers that come into the house. And it's all fun and games and innocent fun because he's a baby, right? So it's his 34-year-old mind clashing with his baby's mind. And he's like, man, I can't walk, I can't talk, I can't express myself, yada yada. So fast forward to when he's a little bit older. He's probably 5, 6, 7 years by now, and he makes some friends. He starts developing his magical abilities, and he goes out to get stronger. Um, there's a point where he meets like this really nice band of people, and they train him until he gets a little bit older. There, he meets probably his first love, and that's Eris. And she's like this to him, right? Beautiful redhead girl, but she's a pain in the ass, right? She's loudmouth and she's aggressive and she's spoiled, and they kind of bond really well. At the same time, prior to him meeting Eris, he had met this elf called Sylphie, who he thought was a boy but was actually a girl. and they have a very nice relationship, and they hang out, and he really likes her and she really likes him. But then he goes off with Eris to like train or whatever, and further his life, right? So at some point around there, um, some events happen that cause him to have to form a group and train much harder and go explore the world. And there he meets unlikable to everybody else characters, but to him they're very nice. And he grows, and you see the scope of this manga really start broadening, and it really turned into a nice anime and manga. The anime adaptation I think is really nice. It skips some of the details, but it's very. There's like two seasons out for it. The second season's like partly through. I highly encourage you guys to watch it. I love this. This is a definite like 5 out of 5 manga for me. Maybe like a 4.5 out of 5. I'll say. And it's really good. It's wholesome at points. It's very believable. Like it's okay. It kind of gives me like the Wandering In vibes, but like in a manga esque kind of way, where you have creatures that are people are prejudiced against because of the color of their hair, or like the color of their eyes, or how their ears look, or whatever, because they're not human, right? And you have people who are now oppressed because of what their ancestors did, and are now like very prejudiced against them. People are very racist openly toward them. So this deals with a lot of heavy themes, but it does so in like a flirty, fun kind of way, which keeps you really groped into it, and you want to keep reading. Man, yesterday I was watching the anime, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I just hit episode 7, and I was like, I need to know what happened, so I just started reading the manga, and I read like 20 chapters of the manga. Mind you, there's only like 92 chapters of manga right now. And the anime is caught up to like chapter 50, I think, or 51, or 50 something, give or take. So I got all the way to like chapter 80, and I was like, holy cow, like I can't wait to keep reading, but I need to have self control, so I'm gonna go to sleep like a responsible adult. Guys, I think you'll really like this. If you give it a shot, I would encourage you to watch the manga. I think the visuals are very nice in their own way, and I think it looks really cool. And definitely something that any audience can agree with, that it'll be a fun watch or a fun read, whatever you prefer. There's also a light novel, right? This is all from a light novel, and I haven't given the light novel a chance. I feel like if I'm gonna do reading, I'm gonna stick to like traditional books for that, and then I'll read manga, but not light novels. I'm not a huge fan of those typically. Typically, so yeah, I think this is a great story. I think the plot. Or let me give you my rating. Right, so I said 4.5 out of 5. Let's break it down. I think character work, it's a 5 out of 5. These characters are phenomenal. I love Rudius. I love his relationship with the world around him. I love how real I feel when I watch this or read this, because I'm like, wow, I can totally see this happening if I were in his shoes. I would probably make this sort of decision too, right? And you see how he grows as a person. You also see how Sylvie grows as a person, how Eris grows as a person, and how all these cast of characters that you wouldn't expect them to have to be friends come together. So I think character work, 5 out of 5. I think the way that it's written for a manga is, I give it like a maybe like a 4 out of 5. There, yeah, I think that's fair. I would give the writing style a 4 out of 5. I feel like there could be easier ways to word some of the phrases that they use, um, and maybe like the terminology. There's a lot of like traveling, so sometimes you'll learn a lot of like new areas or like creatures or whatever that you might forget. So that's what I'm referring to. But that's it goes with most mangas, so I think that's fair. Um, the world is definitely like a 4.5 out of 5. You see a lot of things happening in this world, and you see him traveling to many different places. The world is really, really big and vast. So I definitely think you guys will like this if you like open world concepts and traveling and finding new regions and monsters that are specific to that. Guys, give this a shot, right? And let me know your comments below. As always, we're going to keep it under 10 minutes. Thanks for helping us grow the page. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Guys, I'll see you on the next video. Take care, y'all.